And I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
Alright everyone, so welcome to the build for the Euro truck, the Mercedes. So we're going to jump right into that. We're going to start off with part 1. I already have all the pieces and everything laid out for the first 5 steps here, 4 steps, 5 steps. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into those and kind of walk through a little bit. Now I'm not going to do this like my last build and do every little thing. That takes a really long time. Those are really long videos. They didn't get a lot of views, so I'm going to try to shorten it up just a little bit for you guys. So I'm going to start off with step 1, and what I'm going to need here is the 61 tooth spur gear, your GB2 part, a bearing. Now this comes with the plastic bushings in it, but I got the actual Tamiya hop-up bearings for the TT01 Type E chassis, which is what this chassis is. So I'm going to be using the bearings instead of the bushings. You're going to need your center propeller shaft here. You're going to need your 2 B8 pieces. You're going to need your C5 and C4. It's the rear and the front propeller joint. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh yeah, and you're going to need your grease. You're going to need the MA11, which is the little shaft pin. And you're going to need the MA5 tapping screw. Need 2 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into that. Alright, so step 1 is going to be your spur gear, your rear propeller joint, your GB2, which is the spur gear stopper, your little shaft pin there, MA11, and your bearing. Now you got to grease your spur gear stopper and of course your spur gear. I went ahead and greased the stopper already. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of this grease that comes with the kit here on the spur gear. I want just a little bit on the end of each one of these little prongs here. And then around your spur gear. Alright, and you have your chassis here. And the rear is going to be where you have your little motor mount spot for. And you know that's your rear here. And then you're going to take your bearing, put it down on your propeller joint, then take your spur gear stopper, make sure there's a little notch inside of there, right, like a little hole right there, and make sure that's facing inside. And then you need your little pin right inside this little slot here. And then your spur gear. Alright, I think that's on there, right? It does show to have the spur gear in here first. Alright, so that's step one. Step two is going to be connecting the propeller shaft. So we're going to go right on into that step. Alright, so I went ahead and put the shaft and stuff in there. It was real simple. You just put a little grease on the ends of each end of the shaft. Take your front propeller joint, connect it to there, and then just pop it in the back. Real simple. So then the next thing is going to be these two pieces here, the B8s, which are these little pieces, and you're going to need your MA5 screws, and these go in right here. There's only one way you can put them. Your little body clip holes right here, if you can see that there. They're going to be facing this direction, and this is like your battery holder. And then you're going to take your two screws up from underneath and screw those in. So I'm going to go ahead and get those screwed in, and then I'll move on to the next step. Alright, so that's all done. Simple, two screws, bam bam. So then the next step is going to be attaching this pinion gear and all that to the motor. So I got the 19 tooth pinion gear that comes with this kit, the 540 torque tuned motor that also came with this kit, and then you'll need the MA6 screws. You need two of those, and then your one grub screw for your pinion gear, and then the MA16 right here, which is just like a little cardboard like motor plate. I guess it's just a little spacer. And you'll just take that rubber tubing off of there. There we go, got it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my grub screws and all that and get this all connected together. Alright, so I got my pinion on there, and then the next step is going to be to put the little plate here on, the gear ratio plate. Now this is the 19 tooth pinion gear that it came with, so I'll be using the two screw holes right here. So the first thing you want to do, which I actually should, oh no, okay, is put your little plate on there. It should just pop right on there. There we go. Line it up with the screw holes there. And then you'll just attach this right on those same two holes there. But before I do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and put some thread lock on that grub screw in there. Get to it with that piece on there. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be back with you guys. Alright, now I got all that taken care of. I got that attached. So then the next step here is going to be put this in here. You got these little knots right here, you see, if you can see that in there. This little sides here, and that little notch there will fit right down inside there. Now before you do that, it even shows on the instructions, you want to take your motor wire here and bend this one upwards, otherwise it's not going to fit down in here. And it'll just push right down in there. Lined up pretty good with the spur gear there. And now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of grease to the pinion gear. Just a little bit. And then the next step is going to be putting on the gear housing. So you're going to need your piece here, which is D10. And you're going to need 4 of the MA3 screws. So I'm going to go ahead and get those screws and then come right back to you. Alright. So now we'll take this. I'm going to actually add a little bit more grease on my spur gear here before I close it up. So then you take your D10 piece, and if you see it has these little notches in here, that's going to go right with the notches of your gear ratio plate. Click. There we go. It'll click right in place for you. And then you're going to take your 4 MA3 screws. And you're going to have one here, 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 and here. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. Alright, that completes step 4. Step 5 is going to be doing the diff gears and the diff case. So I'll be right back with all the parts for that. Alright, so now we're back on step 5, which is going to be your diff case and your diff gears. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your GB3, which is your diff gear case. You're going to put a little dab of grease down in the bottom, and then you're going to drop one of your large bevel gears in there, and it'll be teeth up. And then I put some more grease on top of that. And then what you'll do is you'll take your star shaft and your 3 small bevel gears, and they'll just go on like so with your teeth facing inward. And then if you look on in there, you'll see little grooves, and that's for the little pin pieces sticking out here to fit down into. And you just drop that right down in there, and it'll click right in with your bottom gear down there. Alright, and then I'm going to add a little bit more grease to this gear, to the other large bevel gear. not a lot. So a little more down in here on these. And then your other large bevel gear will go down this way, teeth down, right on top of all that. And then you'll take your GB4, which is your ring gear, and it's going to go teeth down onto this. And if you look, you got 3 little screw holes on here, and you also have 3 screw holes here, and also on this side you have these little pegs and they will go into the same notches as the pegs on your star gear when star shaft go. And then you're going to get your MA8 screws here, these little tiny ones. And there you have it, there's your diff. All together and greased up. So that's the end of part 5. So now we'll go on to part 6. I'll get everything I need for that and I'll be back with you. Alright, so now we're on to step 6. So you're going to need your diff gear that you just put together. You're going to need your GB1 bevel pinion gear, 2 of your RB2 bearings, and 1 of your RB1 bearings. And you're going to need your chassis back over. You're going to be putting your gears and everything into your casing here. You're going to need your grease. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all this together here real quick, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright, so my camera died and I didn't realize it, so I got a couple steps ahead where you guys didn't get to see. I apologize for that. But basically I got steps 7, 8, and 9 finished, which is the back bumper, your A-arms here, and your drive cups and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the back axle, and then that'll be it for this video. And then part 2 will be doing all of the same stuff but on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this. You're going to need 2 of the MA5 screws, 2 of the MA9 screws, 2 of the MA10s, 2 of your drive shafts, and 2 of your gearbox joints. And then of course your 2 drive cups. Now on here on this step it has you putting in the body post, but there's 2 different body posts depending on what body you're putting on it. So I'm going to wait until I have it all done and the body put together, and then line the body up and see which post I actually need to put on there. So you're going to take your gearbox joint, and you're going to look in here and you'll see where the little hole in there. Now That'll just go right in there. And same on the other side. Alright, so then the next step after that is going to be the drive shafts. So in the picture it shows to have this straight up and down, and then this will go in at an angle this way, both sides. Alright, and then your drive cups. So you want, if you see this piece is wider down here and this comes up and gets narrower, this is your top. So you're going to just line that up with your drive shaft in there. And set that right in there like that. And then you'll take the MA9, which is the longer of the screw pins, and that's going to go into the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Alright, and then you'll get your MA10s, the shorter of those screws, and then those will go into the top. Alright, and then we're going to tighten those down. Not super tight, that way the arms move freely. Alright, so that is the back axle all installed, motor installed, rear diff installed. And that'll end part 1 of this build. Like I said, part 2 is going to be the front axle and diffs and everything. So until next time, guys, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.